as a newer 3 nm refinement in rumors. AI focus. Reports repeatedly highlight bigger on-device AI performance as a marquee theme for M5 generation Macs. Connectivity/I/O. Some coverage floats Thunderbolt 5 and Wi-Fi 7 as likely upgrades for the Pro-tier unit, credible, but still unconfirmed. Gaming angle. Several articles speculate that an M5/M5 Pro Mac Mini could be Apple's best living room Mac yet, leaning on higher GPU throughput and metal technologies like Metal FX. Treat this as promising but still speculative. Expected configurations. Rumored. Below are inferred configurations, compiled from recurring rumor themes and the M-series playbook. Treat as educated placeholders until Apple confirms details. CPU, GPU, NPU, Neural Engine, M5, base, CPU. Performance uplift in the mid-teens to 25% range. Generation over generation has been floated broadly for M5 versus M4, depending on workloads and thermals. GPU higher core counts and improved ray tracing mesh shading, features introduced in recent Apple Silicon generations, are expected to carry forward. Rumors emphasize meaningful GPU gains for gaming and pro apps. NPU, a larger on-die NPU aimed at accelerating on-device AI, text, image, code, audio, and enabling more offline AI features in macOS. M5 Pro CPU, GPU, higher core counts and caches versus M5. Stronger sustained performance under multi-threaded and graphics workloads. Rumored Thunderbolt 5 and Wi-Fi 7 support have been mentioned for this tier. Memory and storage. Unified memory, likely similar capacity steps to current minis, e.g. 16 GB base on Pro tier would be logical, 8 or 16 GB base on M5, with higher ceilings on Pro. No firm leaks on Max RAM yet. Storage. Expect NVMe options broadly mirroring the outgoing lineup. 256/512 GB starting points have varied by generation, with higher tiers is rumored. Networking. Wi-Fi 7 rumors circulate for Pro. Base could land on Wi-Fi 6E. 7 depending on Apple's platform decision. HDMI Ethernet. Expect HDMI 2.1 class video and gigabit 10 GBE options similar to current minis. Performance outlook. CPU M5 CPU gains will come from node improvements, more efficient 3 nm refinement, and micro-architectural tweaks. A 15 to 25% uplift mentioned in press chatter for Pro-tier silicon would make a noticeable difference in compiles, multi-track audio, Xcode builds, and data wrangling, especially under sustained loads where the desktop's thermal headroom helps. The GPU story could be the headline for many. The Mac Mini's desktop cooling envelope often lets Apple keep clocks higher for longer than fanless laptops. Pair that with next-gen Apple GPU features, ray tracing, mesh shading, and better upscaling via Metal FX. And the M5 Pro Mini could push into playable at living room resolutions territory for more titles, particularly those ported using Apple's game tools or built with Metal in mind. That's the thrust of the gaming optimism in recent coverage. AI on-device ML. Apple has been seeding macOS with more on-device AI capabilities. The rumor mill expects bigger NPU throughput and tighter macOS integration in the M5 cycle. Think faster generative features. Summaries, code assists, image variations, background cleanup, voice transforms, and lower latency for local models, plus improved handoff to the GPU when appropriate. Thermals, noise, and power. Historically, the Mac Mini pairs Apple Silicon efficiency with a compact active cooler. Expect lower average power per unit performance versus M4 era chips, thanks to node refinements. Better sustained performance at similar or lower fan noise under heavy loads. Video export, Xcode, Blender, stable diffusion, especially for the M5 Pro unit. These are reasonable inferences based on prior generational behavior. Apple hasn't confirmed specifics. Design and build. Most reports concur, no big exterior changes after the Mini's recent design cycle. That implies the familiar unibody aluminum block, compact footprint, and back row I/O with front kept clean, unless Apple surprises with a front port. If Apple touched anything, it would likely be internal board layout, power delivery, or cooler tuning to accommodate M5 thermals again. Unconfirmed. Software pairing macOS N. Expect the M5 Mac Mini to ship with the then current major macOS. Press chatter has named a macOS 26 Tahoe timeframe around 2025 N26, but note that UI nicknames and feature lists are speculative until WWDC. Some reports mention expanded AI features arriving alongside these chips. Directionally plausible, but final branding and features are unknown pre-announcement. Pro apps and game tooling continued updates to Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, Xcode, and Apple's game porting stack should dovetail with the M5 GPU advances. Release window, best current read. There's no official date. The rumor consensus boils down to optimistic late 2025. October deck. Launch alongside other M5 Macs. Conservative. Slip to early 2026, with some lines like MacBook Pro, possibly moving first-second depending on supply and product strategy. You'll see articles asserting the Mini could lead the M5 rollout, while others say MacBook Pro gets pushed. The split itself is a signal that plans may be fluid inside Apple's roadmap. Price expectations. Starting price. The base Mac Mini has typically stayed aggressive. Several pieces float a $599 entry, which aligns with prior Minis positioning and Apple's goal of keeping a low desktop entry point. Treat as prediction, not a leak. Versus M4 Mini. Expect notable single-core and multi-core CPU improvements, a bigger GPU step, and a much faster NPU. If I/O steps to Thunderbolt 5 and Wi-Fi 7, especially on Pro, that's a tangible connectivity upgrade. Versus M2, M1 Mini, the generational jump becomes dramatic. Multi-gen CPU/GPU gains, modern media engines, AV1 decode where applicable, expanded ray tracing mesh shading support, and better AI acceleration transformative for video, code, 3D, and dev workflows. Likely buyers and workflows that benefit video editors, colorists, Final Cut, Resolve, faster encodes, smoother multi-stream timelines, improved background renders. Developers, Xcode, Docker, Node, Python/ML prototyping, shorter builds, faster local inference, improved container performance. 3D and motion, Blender, Cinema 4D, motion, more GPU throughput. MetalFX upscaling may help. Viewport performance. Audio, Logic Pro, Pro Tools, more headroom for tracks plugins. Lower fan noise versus tower PCs. General office creators. Long support runway on a small, quiet desktop. Apple Insider reports M5 and M5 Pro Mac Minis are being tested. Tom's Guide says M5 Pro Minis by end of 2025, focusing on internal upgrades and AI. TechRadar floats 25% perf uplift, plus Thunderbolt 5 Wi-Fi 7 chatter for M5 Pro. MacRumors coverage ranges from late 2025 to a slip into early 2026, and also notes code pointing to an M5-powered Vision Pro, corroborating that M5 silicon is real and in Apple's software tree. PC Gamer and others emphasize the gaming box angle thanks to stronger GPUs and MetalFX. Sensible spec table, provisional, category M5 Mac Mini, rumored, M5 Pro Mac Mini, rumored, CPU next Gen 3 nanometers Apple CPU. Gen uplift versus M4 more cores, cache higher sustained perf. GPU more cores. RT/mesh shading. Better MetalFX, even more cores. Higher bandwidth NPU, larger on-die NPU for on-device AI, larger faster NPU, higher TOPS memory, unified 8. 24 plus GB, TBD. Unified 16. 48 plus GB, TBD.
Storage 256 GB 2TB GenVem, TBR, 512 GB 4, 8 TB, TBR, port 2TB USB-C, HDMI, Ethernet, SD.
TBD, 4 times TB, likely. HDMI 2.1, 10 GBE option. Wireless Wi-Fi 6E/7, TBD. BT5.x/5.4 Wi-Fi 7 rumored. BT5.x/5.4 TB standard, TB4, baseline TB5 rumored price. US, $599 starting. Speculative. Higher starting. Speculative. Ship window late 2025, early 2026 window, same window. Release scenarios holiday 2025 launch. Apple announces M5 family in October/NOV, with Mac Mini, M5/M5 Pro among the first to ship before year-end. Several outlets lean this way. Stagger into early 2026. Supply or strategy nudges minis to Q1 2026, while other M5 Macs share the stage earlier later. Mac Rumors Roundup leans toward early 2026 for first M5 Macs. Split wave. Base M5 Mini arrives first. M5 Pro Mini follows by a few months, mirroring previous staggered Pro Max timing in other Mac lines. Speculative, but consistent with Apple's past cadence. Pricing scenarios. Base M5 Mini, maintaining an aggressive entry $599, has been floated in gaming angle coverage. Apple could also hold $699 depending on base RAM/SSD. M5 Pro Mini expect a higher floor $1,299 plus historically for Pro-tier minis, especially if it includes more RAM, SSD standard and 10 GB or 4 TB ports. So that's everything we know so far about the upcoming M5 Mac Mini, from leaks and performance rumors to pricing and release timelines. While Apple hasn't confirmed anything yet, the pieces are starting to come together, and it's looking like one of the most exciting Mac Mini upgrades ever, especially with all the focus on AI, GPU improvements, and Thunderbolt 5 connectivity. Now I want to hear from you. Would you upgrade to the M5 Mac Mini if it launches at the rumored $599 starting price? Or are you sticking with your current Mac for now? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I always love reading your takes. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the latest Apple leaks, rumors, and in-depth breakdowns. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.